Hey guys, it's Haley. I have not filmed in a long time. Yeah. Sorry about that. Really sorry about that actually, because I missed you guys. I missed you guys a lot. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I'm really sorry. But I thought I would do another story time video since the last one seemed to go pretty well. But there was a lot of drama with it, so it was like... So, today I'm going to make a video of something that happened when I was working in my store. And it's not a customer story, and it's not anything like that. It's actually something that I found really, really cool. So, I was working in the jewelry sort of section of my store, and this woman comes in and she starts talking to me, and I was helping her pick out something, which is, you know, what you do when you work at a counter or in retail or whatever. I was helping her, and she was talking about different guardian angels. Her fiance passed away, and she like really believes in certain angels and certain certain like spirits, and she's really into angels and stuff like that. So I was thinking like, oh, you know, like she's a really religious person, like stuff like that. Like that's her own choice. Me personally, I'm not a very religious person, but that's fine. So she's telling me all this stuff, and obviously being very respectful and saying like, oh, like I'm sorry for your loss and blah blah blah. We're just having a conversation. She was an absolute sweetheart. So I help her pick out her necklace. I think she got a necklace, and I brought it up to the register or whatever, and she paid for it, and I thought like, oh, okay, like she was really nice, that was interesting, like okay, anyways. So moved on with my day. So she comes back a couple minutes later and she goes, this is gonna sound really weird, but I feel a certain aura around you in the store. She said, I feel very positive vibes in this store, but a very positive and interesting aura around you. And at first I was like, she's probably just gonna like try to sell me something or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like those people who are like, oh, like I can tell you your future for $2, and then you have to pay $5 for this and $8 for that. You know what I mean? So at first I was kind of like iffy, and I was like, oh, like really? And then she looks at me and she goes, I'm a medium. Me, I didn't know what a medium was. I thought a medium, I don't know, I've never heard that word. When I think medium, I think like a medium size, not like medium as a career. But it's kind of like the opposite of a psychic. So she told me that she was a medium. So she goes, do you know what that is? And I was like, not really. I was like, no, not really. And she was telling me that it is someone who can talk to people who have passed on and stuff like that. And she goes, and she started to kind of say things about people who I've lost in my life. Like, she was like, oh, like, you have a grandmother who passed away a while ago, and she kind of collapsed, and then she was found, and all this stuff. And all the stuff she was saying wasn't like generalization sort of things. It was things that you couldn't just guess that. Like, it was weird. And I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not someone who believes in a lot of religion-related things, but everything she was saying was true. It was the craziest thing. Like, she was saying, like, oh, like, your grandmother, and I know you're not close to your brother and sister, and it was just, like, every single thing she said was right. And she was, like, describing what they looked like and stuff, and it was such a crazy thing, because nothing like that has ever happened to me before, because I'm not someone who lets in those sort of like beliefs, because I'm just, my thing is, when I went to CCD, I was forced to practice and believe all that stuff, and then it made me not want to believe it because I was forced to, if that makes sense. So I never really like went into those things. Like, I never really researched any of those things or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, like everything she's saying is right and like true and stuff. She didn't try to sell me anything. She didn't try to get me to come over. She does free readings too. Like, it wasn't a thing for her business, I don't think. I don't think it was something that she was like, oh, like, I'm gonna go freak this girl out and make her think that I'm this crazy person and that I get another customer or something. Like, I don't think that's what she was doing, because she was way too nice. You know what I mean? She was way too nice. It was really, really cool, because she was such a nice person, and she was so genuine, and she wasn't pushy about it. Like, she was like, if you don't believe in it, like, that's completely fine. And I was like, no, I want to hear what you have to say, because I'm a nice person. One of the things she told me was that she could feel my grandmother's presence. So she told me that she could feel like a presence from my grandmother, and my grandmother's name was Pat. She told me she could feel her presence, and the thing that really sealed the deal for me is that someone who works with me is named Pat, and she walked up behind me and she goes, "Oh, Haley, here are some presents," and she was handing me like returns or whatever to put back in the jewelry case. And I was like, oh my god, like the same name and presents in 2 different ways. Like it was like the weirdest coincidence that it couldn't have been a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like it was so crazy that it couldn't even be a coincidence. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that story with you guys. I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty crazy, but pretty cool. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!